Welcome to the marathon. Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Replay Mega Man Battle Network 2. In the last part, we went through the backtracking hellscape that is the Freeze Man scenario for the 360 sub special, and now we're getting a full week of these videos out with number 370 sub special. Thanks for 500 again, by the way. And before we get into the next part of the plot, I actively want to do some grinding for Zenny here in the Netopia area, because I especially want to try and get some of those 10,000 Zenny green mystery data. I'm in particular trying to get up to the 50,000 Zenny mark for that request board side quest that we accepted last time, where you need 50,000 in order to even turn it in. So once I get that, we'll be good, but along the way, something happens. Namely, we leveled up custom style last time, but between those and all the battles I've cut out between backtracking and all that, it's time for a new style change. What's this? A style change? It must be. But what style? Looks like a new style has evolved, but what's... Heat shield style. Heat shield style. This is a fire Navi style, ideal for skilled defenders. Navis with this style are equipped with a barrier. Push the B button and left immediately to put up a shield. Also, charged shots will turn into flamethrowers. Careful though, you take twice as much damage from Aqua. Wow, good job, Mega Man. Heat shield style. Wow, I can't believe how much heat power I can feel. You can always pick Mega Man from the menu and change style. Okay. And like Mega Man said, in case you want to change back to normal style or change between any of the style changes you have, just come over here and you can try. You can only hold up to 2 standard styles like this for the moment. There's a third style slot besides the 2 you have in normal, but you can't use that until a certain post-game event happens. Heat shield is very good. If you're gonna get a shield style, I really recommend Heat or Aqua. But if you get wood, that's still good. Just, again, I do not recommend sticking with any elect style you get. Notably, if and when you proc a third style change from here, you actively get the option to either delete one of the 2 you have, or just ignore the one you just earned. In most cases, especially if you have 2 you're already comfortable with, I'd recommend just ignoring the one you just earned. Battle Network 3 would change this system up a bit, so that's not exactly the case, and I'm pensive on the changes they gave the system in that regard in 3, despite all the other good changes they gave for style changes in 3. But it's nice to have. I have a shield style now, which is great. I would have taken any of them, and I'm glad I got heat. But now I need to go finish the grinding, and here I am once that's done. 50,070 Zenny. So let's head into Yai's house and talk to the guy. Hiya, kid. Say, I've got a favor to ask. Got a second? I'm running this disaster prevention agency, see? But nowadays, those net battlers do all the work, you know? The bottom line is, we just don't have any work to do, and our funding's scraping the bottom of the barrel. If we had 50,000 Zenny, we could get through the month. But if we don't get the money, we're finished, bankrupt. So I need you to loan me 50,000 Zenny, please. This might sound sketchy, it's not. You'll loan me the money? Thanks. Just make a bank transfer with your PET there. That'll do the trick. Thanks, kid, you really helped me out. I want to pay you back right away, I really do. As soon as I get the money, I'll pay you back with interest. What's that? You want to know what I'm doing here? The girl who lives in this place let me hide here. I'm hiding from the loan sharks until my job shapes up. And thankfully it doesn't take that long, just leave and re-enter, and hey kid, you won't believe the good news! We had a natural disaster recently, see? And business went through the roof. Here, this is for you, kid. You get double your Zenny back, so that is a free 50k Zenny for grinding up to 50k Zenny. I'd say that's pretty worth it. For now, let's take care of the next side quest. Please help. I've heard that Electopia's virus busting is top-notch. Can you get rid of the 4 nastiest bullies in Netopia? They're too much for us to handle alone. I'm waiting in Netopia Town in Netopia. Thank you for your time. Accept this job? Absolutely. So now we need to head to the Netopia part of the city just outside the hotel, but before we do that, I want to actually go fight Mr. Famous once more in order to get a Gateman V2 chip just to replace the Gateman V1 in my folder, because that's just going to be better for virus battles in the upcoming areas. And you might notice, by and large, this LP has been hour-long episodes thus far. This is an hour and a half. That's because we might be finishing the main story today. I almost split this into 2 videos, but there wasn't a really good split-off point, because I always want to have the credits in one of these games be the end of a video. So doing this just was the best way for me to handle it, I think. And plus, you know what? We've gotten 5 of these videos out in a row. I feel like a little bit of a celebration within the celebrations is nice to have, you know what I mean? I'm the one with the request. As I wrote on the board, I want you to punish 4 bullies. They should be hanging out by the Netopia Square entrance. Alright, nice and handy to handle that. Let's just use Raoul's stereo and get on over there. And you will notice these bullies right off the bat once you actually enter the area because, well, they're on just the 4 corners. Save before talking to any of them, though, because these viruses can be dangerous. Who are you? I'll delete anyone who stands against me. Ah! This one can be a little troublesome just because you got 2 potential area grab users on top of your area being moved slightly by the Hardhead 3. This is why I do like the blades a lot as weapons, because while Life Sword 3 is powerful, it's nice to have the reach of 3 long swords like that are still very powerful. In this fight, though, we got a new enemy. This is a blue UFO, upgraded red UFO from the airplane computer. It's stronger, and that's about it. It still steals your battle chips. If it runs into you, I think it's still a luck elemental despite its different color, so just be careful. But there you actually saw a bit of something that I didn't know until actually right then about the UFO enemy line. If you run into them while using something that you're invincible during, like a dash chip, you'll damage them, but they'll still steal your battle chips even if they don't damage you. So be careful about that in the case you're fighting them in certain circumstances where you don't want that to happen. I don't mind though ultimately because, hey, I got Gator out. That's all I care about with this particular battle. Every Battle Network really does have that one program advance that just sort of breaks the balance if you can get it early in the game. And Gator is definitely that for this. It's Gut Shoot back in BN1. And there's like 3 that you can do that with in BN3 depending on what you do by the end of that. 2 new viruses in this one. We got Handy 3s and Storm Boxes. Handy 3s do the same stuff that Handies 1 and 2 do. They move to your front row, place a bomb down, and wait for it to explode. But something I actually didn't know until this recording. In a battle I believe I ultimately edited out. In the case you have like 3 Handies like this, and you place an item that blocks a panel, you only have like 2 of them actively go in the offensive and try to place down their bombs. There's one particular chip that's very notable with that we're going to be getting down the line. Otherwise, we have the 3rd variant of the Wind Box virus, which is the Storm Box. I believe their deal is that, besides their high HP, they can either alternate between sucking and blowing, or they just randomly choose one at the start of the battle in question. They can be annoying, but since they're not combative otherwise, they're not too much to worry about. If anything, I'm kind of surprised how few times from memory in the series they pull a deal where it's like, alright, this is a Storm/Wind Box in an area with a lot of lava panels, so we're going to try and blow you back into the hazards or things like that. I think there's at least one case they do that with poison panels in a later game, but surprisingly few times they do that when they could easily just take advantage of that throughout the entire series. With that said, we have one more new virus to talk about with this particular side quest, and it starts a particular chain that's kind of interesting in how they work. This fight has a Brushman too. We haven't run into a Brushman 1 yet. We actively can't until post-game if memory serves. Brushmen are interesting in that they're a purely support-type virus similarly to the Wind and Storm Boxes. But what they do is they will paint a panel on the enemy's side of the field into a type of panel we haven't seen in the LP yet, a Holy Panel. Holy Panels have the damage for whatever entity is standing on them, be they viruses or you when you can eventually make Holy Panels down the line. That has its good defensive purposes. I think they're more useful in BN3 Beyond, where there's more ways to inflict them to a wider field. You got them. You're pretty strong. I like strong people. Here's your reward. And there we get Step Sword M, which I think we need for a program advance down the line at some point. Holy Panels can be annoying in certain defensive ways when the enemies use them, but thankfully you don't run into enough Brushmen 2 for that to be really annoying, let alone Brushman 1 or 3. And ooh, free full cust asterisk. I might actually put that into the folder between videos. For now, a little bit of housekeeping, something I forgot to grab earlier. This is the tax-free shop in the airport on the way back to Netopia. Between these postcards here is a Reg Up 2. We're getting close to the end on the Reg Ups. I think we end this video somewhere in the 40s, and the max regular member you can have is 50. And thus, we can now save and move on to the endgame plot scenario. Then, 1 week later. Oh my. Huh. Again? Ugh. This is endless. Darn. What on earth is going on here? That's everything in Chod's report. Chod left to look into the incident by Netopia's request. That was 3 days ago. Perhaps this is more complicated than we thought. Don't you find it a little odd? Dr. Hikari's son, Lan, destroyed Kotobuki Square. That's a major gospel base. Yet net crime's at record levels. Dr. Hikari, is it possible we're overlooking something? Yes, perhaps we should re-inspect Kotobuki Square. But our top net battler Chod isn't back yet. Recent events have destroyed our net battler reserves. Should we get a city net battler to check out Kotobuki for us? Excellent idea! Why, Dr. Hikari's son's a city net battler. Yes, but I fear this will be far more dangerous. And Lan is still inexperienced. But Dr. Hikari, you yourself said this is an emergency. We'll ask all the city net battlers to participate. True. Perhaps the other battlers would be up to it. Very well. Let us ask the city net battlers. Meanwhile, we should all get back to our duties.
Right!
Another incident? I know, it's very troubling. Why, they just said that gospel had been destroyed. Yeah. Want to read your mail? Okay, let's see. Attention all city net battlers. As we believe that gospel is continuing its operations, we request you reinvestigate Kotobuki Square. What? We beat Freezeman, so what was that? Well, we can't find out just sitting around here. Yeah, let's go. Honestly, this also would have been a good time for me to go do those side quests we started the video off with, but let's head over to Kotobuki Square, just cut out like a good minute there, not even. And interestingly, they actually do change the layout here a little bit. Everyone's gone. But I still hear voices somewhere. Well, I say things change here. It's more like the NPCs are gone, but the ones here in the shop are still all here. Because you need these to get some battle chips, so removing them would be kind of annoying. Let's go check out near where we fought Freezeman and see if anything's up. Still nice and ominous, but we have NPCs here.
There isn't anything here. What do you want?
Well, you saying that just makes me think you're lying to me, just outright. Mr. Program?
I'm a bad program. Got a problem?
Yes?
Long live gospel.
Oh, God. Oh. Uh-oh. What's all this? This wasn't here last time, right? Oh, man. Gospel wasn't destroyed at all. No wonder the incidents weren't stopping. Megaman. Yeah? That one's next. Think you can handle it? It's worth a try. No good. Ah! Man, there's no end to these things. Lamb, let's go to Kotobuki Town. We may find something. Right. Say, how do we get there? Maybe we should, do what we always do? Right. Ask my dad. Well then, what are we waiting for? Right, let's go. Just gonna leave all these navvies here to hopefully cause zero problems whatsoever. And now we need to head back to Dad's lab, so let's just cut over there. Howdy do, Papa! Dad, we checked out Kotobuki Square. Lan, I was hoping you'd not be here. Why not? After we helped out and everything? I'm sorry. Thank you, Lan. It's just, I hoped you wouldn't be involved this time. Why not? I've been safe up till now, more or less, haven't I? Well, there was that one time. And that other. That's my boy. No, you've been doing great all along. Just, this time feels different somehow. I have a feeling this will be the final and most difficult battle. What do you mean? Gospel has something up its sleeves. I'm sure of it. Something up its... But what? If we knew, we could prepare for it. I need more time. Well, be that as it may, you've both done a great job. I'm going to explain what we know about Kotobuki Town. So, Lan, Mega Man, I want you both to listen carefully. Right! In our research, we found something very strange. Kotobuki Town is releasing electromagnetic radiation. We think the warping in Kotobuki Square is somehow related. And it all stinks of gospel. The town must be the real headquarters. The gospel main base. How much radiation are we talking about here, Dr. Hikari? I'd say about 10,000 times the usual radiation levels. Of course, radiation at those levels is dangerous to humans. I guess I'll be fine then, but what about Lan? With that kind of dosage, you'd be one sick kid for sure. In a worst-case scenario, you could even die. But I have to go! Dad, isn't there anything you can do? Well, we thought of a few things to help you out. 2, to be exact. First, you'll get to Kotobuki Town on the unopened Kotobuki Metro line. We've made a special card that'll absorb some radiation. How about once we get there? Right, we've also made a special shielded mag suit. The suit will shield you at levels up to 50,000 times normal. And then we can hit gospel where it hurts the most! That's right, but still, I'd rather that it wasn't you. But I want to do it, Dad. But Lan, it's too dangerous. Then wouldn't it be harder for you to ask someone else? And even if I didn't make it, at least you know what it was I died fighting for. And my brother, Mega Man, will be there to protect me. Lan, your mom's right. You've really grown. Okay, you win. Here's a Koto Pass and a mag suit. Well, I'm off. Lan, be careful. You got it, Dad. And thus we can start off the endgame events and head to the final area of the main plot. But before we do that, there are a few more requests we can do on the request board. Bit of a weird timing, but oh well. To bug academics. I belong to the Electopia Bug Society. I'm looking for a bug I'm researching for the symposium. It's called the den beetle, and it lives in Electopia. It's a very rare bug, and I'm having trouble finding one. I'm looking for someone to come help me find this bug. If you can help, see me at the Okuden Valley campground. Oh, great, another Okuden Valley backtrack, my favorite, but at least they're upfront about it, and gee, I wonder who it could be based off that description. Hey! Hey, you were on the plane, so you're taking my contract? Well, that's good to know. Okay, here it is. I want you to find me a den beetle. There should be some around this camping area, I imagine. The den beetle likes places where the water's peaceful. I'm counting on you. So this is just a game of trying to find the right place, but first, I sense something. I sense a ninja grandma. This is for you. Reg up 2 right there. They like to hide a lot of NPCs like that at this point in the game. So the den beetle likes water that's peaceful, so it's not going to be near the waterfall. We need to be at this part of the river and check this end of the screen. There's a big black bug swimming there. It's a den beetle. And there we go, we just take that back and the side quest is done. I like how brief this one is, admittedly. And not for nothing, you get a decent battle chip for it, especially if you use a certain code, therefore you don't need to worry about it being off code. Oh yes, a true den beetle. You're a capable man. Here's your reward. For that, you get a Recover 200M, which is one of the best healing chips in the game. There's one that's above that in terms of its power, but it's really good all the same. Return my gem. I work at a jewelry shop in Etopia, and 3 gems were stolen. Yum Tear, Kingstone, and Twilight. I know who did it, but I don't know where he is. Please help me with this investigation. Accept this job? Yep. The last job for the main story, so let's head over to Netopia, but first... Gospel? Beats me. I, Mr. Match, don't know anything about it. At this point, we can challenge Heatman V2 and grab the Heatman battle chip, so we might as well. And it's a good showing for what my folder can do at this point, given we got all the full custs in there and the fast gauge. My folder is still definitely going to evolve into the post-game because there's new program advances that are even better as we go through. But Gator's probably going to be there consistently until like the very, very end of the post-game stuff. Which is sort of how I expected the game to go, because Gator is just that legendary as a program advance. Like, it's this, A certain one we're going to be getting at the end game of this that you can get much earlier in some other games. And then certain Navi chips in each game that are just absurdly legendary at how much they can just break the main campaign. Which, you know, I appreciate on a level for RPGs, because if you know how to play the game and what's really good, being able to break the main balance of the story, I think, is rewarding. I don't think every game should have that, but rewarding players that go out of their way to experiment or really know the mechanics of the game is a nice feeling. I think the Trail series, for instance, does a good job of that, especially by the time you hit Reverie. Before I talk about what it does, though, let's head over to the jewelry store and talk to our client for this request. Welcome. Oh, you're a net battler. I posted the request. Actually, the 3 most expensive items in my shop were stolen. The perpetrators were none other than the 3 bandit sisters. They're out to steal jewels around the world. If my boss found out about this, Please, get the jewels back from the 3 bandit sisters. It's reported that when approached, the sisters release viruses, so be careful your PET doesn't get infected. There's been a reported sighting of them by the castle. Oh, yeah, they apparently have a peculiar dialect. Is that enough info for you to find them? Yeah, just about. So the Heatman battle chip, you summon him, he stands where you are. The panel in front of him is lit on fire, but then so are the next 2 columns in entirety, and then they do the listed damage number. I like it for its range. H-code's also pretty easy to work with, so I recommend it. Hidden Kid, I give this to you. That's our next sub-mem, 2 of 4, I think that is collected. First sister is up here. Make sure you save beforehand, just in case, by the way.
What is it? Stop staring at my face. You're so rude.
That dialect's not one you hear around these parts. You're one of the 3 bandit sisters. Give me back the jewelry you stole.
Darn it, how'd you figure me out? Me and my big mouth. Wells, it can't be helped. If you beat me, I'll give you back the jewelry.
This virus fight can be annoying, especially because of the presence of the Flamey 3, but by this point, you probably have ways to take advantage of either the ice panels or the elemental weaknesses these enemies have to begin with.
Dangle me shimmies, you're one tough boyo. You may have found me, but you won't find my sissies. Sure, these in the topi somewhere, though. Okay, I'll give it back. We might steal, but we don't lie.
And there's one. I do believe you have to take these sisters out in a sequential order, by the way. Also, if you want to challenge for the Proto Man fights, Chod is here. I'm not going to do that this part, but I could recommend it, especially if you have a good B-coded folder going. Next one's in the hotel room. I especially recommend saving if you have a heat-type style for this one, by the way. What's wrong, boy? Don't just barge in a lady's room for no reason, Season. What? Hurry up and leave, Eve. I'll call someone, son. You talk like the 3 bandit sisters. You're one of them? Return the jewelry you stole. Huh, return what? Lately they're on to us, sisters. We'll talk after. I beat you black and blue. This is a very aqua-focused battle, and it can be rough, particularly for the Swordy 3s in the case you let them live long enough to limit your station. With that said, we got 2 new viruses here. First off, we got the Cloudy 3, the highest level Cloudy. They are annoying because not only do the clouds last a while, but the limitation on which rows you can use because of them combos nastily with that Swordy 3. But the new virus here, otherwise, is a Poofer. That's an entirely new line I don't think we've seen yet. Poofers essentially fire aqua bombs that follow you until they explode. And they can actually get in the way of your attacks physically as well. I'd say the order of operations to go for here is the Swordy 3 to get rid of the area grab, the Poofer to get rid of the tracking, and then the Cloudy 3. But if you get like Gator off the bat, you're not gonna have to worry a lot about here. Also, I'm not sure if these fights can give you battle chips for these viruses. I want to say no, because I usually just get Zenny, but maybe if you just do well enough. Wow, whipped. Never figured this kid was so tough. Well, I'll be me. Here's the jewelry back, Jack. But can you find my sister, mister? Kingstone get. Final of the 3 sisters is the most out of the way. We need to come back here to the Net Castle and head to the room we first fought Princess Pride, which requires you to actually go through this door in the conference room and then go all the way to the northeast. And that's actually not all we're going to be doing here now that I think about it. I heard about you from my sisters. Those 2 never mastered Netopian, so they were easy to find. But I'm something entirely different. Return the jewelry you stole. That I can't do. This jewelry is most important to us. If If you really want it back, try taking it with brute force. This one can be particularly dangerous if you have an Aqua-type style like I do, where we have two new viruses here. Sparknoids, which are just the highest level for the moment of the Sparky viruses. They are very fast with their movements through the column, so be careful about them. And green UFOs, the strongest of the UFO-type enemies. Taking them out second is actually preferable here because you want to take care of the faster threats first, and they can still steal all of my battleships! Or at least one battleship. I think it actually might depend on how long they're on your sprite, or maybe it depends on the variant of them. Oh, they also have a zap ring attack! I completely forgot about that the entire time with that line. Oh well. I lost. There's no use. I'll return it all. That jewelry was a keepsake of my grandfather's. He collected jewelry, but a corrupt jeweler took it from him. He wanted to see it once more just before he died. We sisters decided to get it back for our grandfather. Jewelry is happier being with folks who know its value. Regardless of its importance, stealing is not right. Seeing his grandkids stealing would bring him grief. Yeah, it wouldn't please our grandfather at all. So here's the jewelry back. I'll buy it back someday. Definitely someday. Well, here. Tell the store clerk sorry for me. And that's the third stone, but before we go take that back to the jewelry store, we want to head back to the room we first entered the first castle computer. Here in the underground portion of the castle, because at this point in the game, another quiz has spawned for us to do, and I think the way you're supposed to find this one is just by coming back to the castle computers doing chip grinding. But since I know it's here now, I might as well do it. Who called the quiz king? Who called the quiz king? King, 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 king! Say it, try it. Well, bzz, quiz hour. I'm the Quiz King, destroyed 230 years ago. My body rotted, but my soul lives on. Now I'm borrowing this guy's body. Someone to answer everyone right and set me free. Weird grammar there. Try answering all 15 questions correctly. Can you possibly set me free? I think I can. Well, let's begin. Question 1. What's Shadow Man's element? He is non-elemental in this entry. You're correct. Next question. Question 2. What's the virus that shoots cannonballs from its mouth? That would be a hardhead. Question 3. What's the combined attack of Thunderman V3, Navi plus 40, and Navi plus 20? That would be 240. Question 4. Who is a former World 3 operator? That would be Mr. Match. Question 5. What's the name of Megaman's operator Gauss's brother? As they said, that is Jack Electricity, the operator of Elecman from BN1. Question 6. Of these valuables, who is vulnerable to wood attacks? That would be Magnaman, speaking of Gauss. Question 7. What's the temperature of the Netopia Hotel fridge? I think you have to talk to a Mr. Program in there to find it out, but it is 3 degrees Celsius. Question 8. What's the name of the popular robot cartoon in Netopia? Well, we got that gift from Dex. It's the Robo-X. Question 9. How many houses are there in AC/DC Town? You just have to go and count. It's 9. Question 10. Which virus has the highest attack power? This one's kind of a gimme. It is 43. I think there's some viruses that do more damage at level 2 than 3, but not them. Question 11. What's in Den City but not in Netopia? That would be the Metro line. Question 12. What area can you enter the Undernet from? Technically there are 2, but the main one is Netopia 3. Question 13. Where was quiz? That was the first quiz we did at the airport. Question 14. What's Mother Computer 1's second keyword? Now we're getting specific. That would be river. You're correct. Last question. Set me free. Question 15. Who's the leader of World 3? Technically none of these, because they added an E to Wily's name just like a certain NES game, but it's Wile in this case. Ah, I'm free. What is your name, boy? Lan Hikari. Lan Hikari. Thank you. I can finally rest in peace. Who called? Who called? And you get a reg up 3 for doing that. I'll take that. What have I been doing till now? Like a long dream. I can't remember. On my 13th birthday, I visited the castle. After that, I just can't remember. Man spent like 70 years completely possessed. That's kind of scary. You came back with the jewels. Oh, thank you. Electopian net battlers are top-notch. Here's a token of my appreciation. And for all that, we get the ultimate fist chip, the gold fist. Now I won't be fired. I'm eternally grateful. Like with the other ones, the gold fist is just a punch forward that does a lot of damage. With that, we're now good to head towards Kotobuki. Notably, you can only go there from the Marine Harbor Metro Line station. Let's use the Koto Pass and head on over. Detected data for Land Hikari en route to Kotobuki Town. So they've come at last. But it's too late. I confused my bug chips to complete the Super Navi. Land and Megaman are coming to their deaths. What's going on here? I'm sure it's not that. Whoa. Oh. Megaman, what kind of radiation reading are you getting? More than your dad thought. Almost 30,000 times normal. I guess the mag suit can protect me. Lan, about the Gospel headquarters. It's gotta be that building. Yeah, and my bet's on the top floor. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's check it out. Endgame beginneth. Something strange started happening in that condominium yesterday. Everyone left, but the pain. Before we head into the condo itself, though, we want to come over here and jack into this particular vending machine. There's a couple of notable viruses you can fight here, but I'm mostly here for a mystery data at the moment. I'm going to be saving a lot of chip grinding at this point for post-game. And there's the second Reg Up 3. I think there's only 2 or 3 of those in the game, and we're getting close to having all the regular memory. But while I'm here, I actually did run into this particular battle, and I get the Meteor 12 battle chip from that full fire. 12 meteors instead of 9 or 15. It's pretty nice. I don't like to use it too much, but it's there. Every battle in that vending machine, by the way, has like lava and ice panels to some extent. I do like how they tend to theme some of the minor computer networks like that still. Not to make luck, but it's unlocked. You can jack in. And we might as well, because there's another couple of cool viruses in here, but also 2 particular mystery data that I want a lot. Because namely up here is the next bug frag. We're almost done with those. But there's a purple mystery data in this computer down here on the southern end. I got unlockers for this specific thing. We also got a new virus here. These are Canodome 3s, the final Canodome virus. They're stronger, and that's about it. But this is one of the best networks in the game for grinding for specific chips, I find, because not only can you get the Dynawave battle chips from the Metar 3s here, which is the best Shockwave type chip, you can get the highest level cannon chip from the Canodome 3s, and we're going to need those eventually. But for right now, the more important thing is this purple mystery data. Within it, Guardian O. Guardian is a very interesting chip. It's completely off the code, but it's worth it for me. Statue punishes when hit. The way this chip works, you place it in front of you. If an enemy hits it, every enemy on the field gets hit for 200 damage immediately. It is super good for multi-deletes, it is super good for chip grinding, it's great damage, it's worth having in your folder no matter what. And also I check around to see if I can get any of those chips, but I don't, so oh well. Lan, you have to use that switch to ride the elevator. Alright. Darn, it's not working. It figures with all this radiation. Come on, move! That's not going to... It worked. Hey, look, it's working. Lan, that's great, but we got company. They might be from Gospel. Quick, let's hide. Yo, wait up. Yeah, right. Wait, that voice. What are you doing here? Hey, you shouldn't go leaving your best friends behind. Dax? Don't forget us either now. Wow, you're all... What are you doing here? Hey, we're CityNet battlers too. You dummy. What about the radiation? Dummy? Chad would never say that to a lady. What? Come on, I was just worried about you guys. You too. I see I'll have to be the voice of reason here. We're all wearing special Netopia-made magwear, see? My father knows the president of Netopia naturally, so... No way, cool. So what's upstairs? Turns out this whole building's one gigantic server. Servers were growing all over the second floor. That's as far up as we were able to go. Servers... growing? Aren't servers machines? She's right, these were growing, weren't they? Anyway, we need to get rid of the net radiation. Then we'll be able to get up to the top floor. Lan, we've done everything we can, so... Dex, what's wrong? Dex jacked in more than the rest of us, so the radiation... He said he had to do it or he couldn't show his face. Ugh. Dex and Mail and Yai, thank you. Now get somewhere safe. Leave the rest of this to me. Thanks, Lan. Mega Man, let's rock. Right, for Dex, Mail, and Yai. Let's find a way to the top. And if we can't find a way, we'll just have to make one. But before we do that, now that we've accessed Kotobuki and seen that scene, there's a couple of other very minor things we can do, namely go talk to our friends over here near the metro line. Our radiation suits are resisting this area's radiation, so take this and hurry up and defeat Gospel. Free attack plus 20 for doing that. You can do it. Lan, good luck. Oh, but... oh, never mind. I'm fine. Dicks don't break so easily. If you want to get more Gutsman ships, you can. I probably actually should have done that just to replace Gutsman V1, but oh well. Now we want to backtrack all the way to where the mother computer is, because if you look carefully next to the server we couldn't jack into, there's something behind it. Blast it, they found me! Power up there that only spawns, I think, after you first reach Kotobuki. 2 power-ups to go, and then our Buster's maxed, and we can get one of those right now. So now we're going to jump cut all the way back to under Koto, and go buy the one from the net merchant, because I have enough Zenny, I might as well at this point. Getting all the power-ups before the final boss is possible in a lot of the games from memory, and I might as well, at least when power-ups were an actual mechanic for the series starting in 4 Beyond, not so much. Yeah, I'll take that. And while I'm here, I'm also going to pick up Slow Gauge, which is just the inversed Fast Gauge. It slows down the speed of the custom gauge, and I think if you use one when a Fast Gauge is in effect in multiplayer, it just puts it to slow speeds. There's some uses for it. And Mindbender, which I think is a multiplayer-focused chip, and I've never used it. I want to say based on the text it inflicts the confusion status ailment on opponents, but I'm not exactly sure about that. I've heard it's more useful in Battleship Challenge from memory. Come in here, though, and here's the scenario computer for the final area. This one is a bit of a maze compared to most of them in the game, though. Whoa, what's that? Is that thing on top of the building? I guess so. The radiation is warping your world and mine together. Wow, Dad would love to hear about this. For now, let's fix the net and get to that top floor. Roger. Let's let a nearby Mr. Program explain a little bit about this area. This network runs through the entire condominium. You can go anywhere from the first floor to the 30th. But beware, abnormal radiation surges may blow you off. At first, if you look at some maps, this area seems pretty straightforward. It's a lot of teleport panels that lead you elsewhere on the same screen. But some of the teleportation panels have extra bits around them to indicate there's going to be a little more going on with them. One such one's coming up at the top of this area, but first off, we got a new virus. This is a Yort. That name's always just been funny to me. Yorts can be annoying because their attack is to shoot their yo-yo out, which can very easily combo you if you're in the middle of their range. Notably, the yo-yos themselves are also indestructible, so you can't shoot through them with Gate or something like that. You need something that can either penetrate or that will just ignore them entirely, like Gutsman or Dash Chips. With that said, while the yo-yos themselves are invincible when they're attacking, when they're on the Yort sprite, when they're not attacking, you can still damage them. Don't worry about that. They actively do have a pretty good battleship, though. The radiation is terrible here. Mega Man was blown to the wrong address. This is how this area works. The radiation level is abnormally high. It blew a critical piece away of the program, and the radiation abnormality can't be fixed without it. The last piece is called L-bit. The corresponding address number is marked upon it. So the way this area works is that whenever you see a teleport panel that is sparking, it's going to send you to a different part of the apartment maps, 1 through 4, and you need to find the matching elevator bit in order to fix the problem therein. I like this area a lot, but it does actively have a little bit more of a maze factor to it, because there's points where you're going to have to look for the elevator bit that matches the teleporter you're next to, and it's all the way across in apartment complex 4, for instance. It's fun to play. I like the music here a lot, especially. This is sort of just another version of the game's main theme, and I really do love this track a lot. We got another new virus here, though. This is a Snapper. It's a one-type virus, so it'll recover HP on grass panels. The way it works is that it tends to hide behind some obstacles, namely rock cubes or rocks, period. But whenever you attack it outright, it tries to teleport diagonally to you and attack you with one of its 2 kunai. From memory, that can combo you for multiple shots and even kind of interplay with certain other viruses, so be careful with them. Don't teleport back there. We want to investigate the weird thing to our northwest. The radiation program from room 82. Will you use the elevator bit? How is it? Ah! So that's the way the area works. This place connects to the one before, doesn't it? Has the radiation abnormality stopped? I don't know, but we'll know when we stop getting blown away. So in essence, the pattern we're going to be doing here is finding a sparking warp, entering it, and then finding the elevator bit to fix that sparking warp. But they're going to get a little playful later on, where they're going to start nesting sparking warps in each other. So it'll be like, all right, this one sparks, so we need a bit to fix it. But in order to find the bit you need to fix it, you need to enter another sparking warp, fix that one, then go back through it to find the one you need for the prior listed sparking warp. It sounds annoying to navigate, but in execution it's not too bad. With that said, I should note, usually each of the subsections have a blue mystery data on them. I think the apartment computer might have the most blue mystery data of any of the plot areas in the game. And by and large, each of the individual portions of the maps that like the sparking warps lead to and all that, each have their own mystery data. And in the case you miss a mystery data on one of those, you're not out of luck. I think you just need to go to the respective floor that elevator bit would be in, like at room 82, and jack into a server in there. Because once we finish this area, we're going to be able to go straight from floor 2 up to floor 30, but you'll have the options to go to all the other floors and check the things out there. Not that most of those floors have anything for you, but still. Also, a moment ago, we got the yo-yo chip. The way that works, you shoot out the York's yo-yo attack, and it does the same thing. If you actually hit an enemy with it in the middle or the end of it, you can combo them for multiple hits, and it can be pretty useful against Navi fights. But here in BN2, it just doesn't get as much of a chance to be useful because you get it so late, but it can be good for postgame. Speaking of good, here's a Spiky 3, the final variant of the main Spiky virus line, and we're going to get to showcase Guardian on them. Spiky 3s behave similarly to their earlier versions. They teleport around randomly a couple times, get in your row, then fire, and now they're dead. Guardian's great. Their particular version of Heat Shot does a cross-shaped attack just like the Bubble Cross. So the target and the 4 panels to the intercardinals of it will be hit by fire damage, which is pretty nice. Again, I don't tend to use it too much, but it's nice for some range. We'll be using it for a program advance down the line anyway. If there's one thing I wish with this area, and it's kind of a thing for the rest of the series, I kind of wish whenever you got into a random battle, the music didn't reset. But at the same time, I like the start of this song so much, it doesn't really matter, because this is just a really good, really empowering final area theme. And that's something I think in general this series is very good at from this point on. 3, 4, 5, and 6, all their final battle theme, final area themes are really good. And that continues into Star Force. I love these sub-series of soundtracks, they're so good. Elevator bit EV there is a bit unique in that you need that one in order to finish the area off. So we just got an end area thing that we sort of went on a side path to get it first. And there's the M cannon, strongest of the cannon chips. I want to say they nerfed those from BN1 though in damage, and they only do about 80 now, which honestly is probably for the best. But we'll be using them down the line for 2 program advances, so might as well get some of them now. I think by and large, this might be the playthrough of Battle Network 2 I've had the most chips of by the end of the main story. And I can't tell if that's just because I'm going out of my way to just get more, or I've just been better about folder efficiency for main story here. Because I think the last time I did a 100% run of this game, I wasn't too focused on efficiency in my folder, barring using Gator, until like the first or second endgame, post-game area rather. So this is nice and refreshing. And here's where they start getting cute. Now we're starting to have nested warps, so we need to look for extra elevator bits in order to get things done around here. I do like at least that they kind of color code these areas a little bit, where the green area is the main path, the blue areas are the secondary paths, but then you get to like the pinks and purples for the tertiary, and I'm not even sure what the word would be for 4th version of tertiary. Quadratory pathways, extra offshoots either way. I like that this area makes the exploration a puzzle in a way that's very different than how, like, say, the castle computer did it, where it's about avoiding things. This is about searching for the right pathways. Mazes can be very hit or miss for exploring in RPG dungeons, I find, where depending on what the enemies are, the mechanics they're in, it's just kind of tedious to get through. I think with the speed you get through in these little shorter offshoot areas, it works, but there are versions of this type of idea later in the series that don't work nearly as well, I think. And that goes even into Star Force. Also, I know I talked about the music already earlier, but you might remember when we first were at the airport, I mentioned that there was a version of the game's main theme in there. Its motif is what's shared with this particular area theme. So they foreshadowed this area theme as soon as you first hit the airport. That's really cool. Albeit in the airport, you need to kind of sit around for a second to hear it, but I like it all the same. Like, Battle Network 2's soundtrack is incredible. If I had to say where it ranks for me amongst the rest of the games, I'm getting kind of ahead of ourselves here. I'd say this is probably it's either second or third favorite soundtrack, which about tracks with my opinion on the game itself, honestly, at least main campaign-wise. Good amount of Zenny around here, too. In fact, this is one of the best areas in the game to do Zenny farming because you can easily get over 500 Zenny for most of the random encounters in here. I usually average about 550, 600, just about, in the case I get Zenny from a battle. And that can really help build up for you doing any kind of Zenny grinding you need for the end of the game. For post-game, rather. Which there's going to be a lot of, especially if you don't have the ways to use the retro chip traders. But we'll talk more about that probably starting next part, if I had to guess. The end game, the post-game portions of this LP are going to be a little more structured than they were in Battle Network 1, but that's just because there's more structure to the post-game of BN2 Beyond than there was in BN1. So I mentioned earlier that I almost split this into two separate videos, because I like having the credits be at the end of a video itself. If there was any place that I was going to split it, it was going to be at the end of this computer, because that would be about a 50-minute video, and that's fine, but something about doing that with the final boss right there, more or less, after this, just didn't really feel right. So that's why we're doing one extra long video to end this week off and to end the main story. We'll probably be back to roughly hour-long, starting in part 9. Which I might get done this week, I don't know. Kind of blitzed a lot of this late stuff, so we'll find out, because the next LP is ready to go after this anyway. If there is a part of this network that can be annoying, especially on a first run, though, it's just a matter of figuring out which way is which. Because when you teleport, things look the same enough around you that it's easy to get lost in. And that's probably why they have some of those little extra building bits in the background to act as extra, like, landmarks. But I feel like they could have used a little more visual landmarking, like maybe like a lamp here or there to show the rooms kind of melding into the net and otherwise. Here we got another new virus, so this is the middle of the Puffball virus line. This is Poofball. Still grass elemental, so it'll recover on grass panels, but it's still weak to fire. And in this case, well, I get some good stuff to take care of this one. There we go. Guardian is still pretty effective against this particular virus line. In a very unorthodox way, you have to wait until they're about to shove their mask onto your side of the field to trap them with it. And you can also do that to handies, I believe. But you need to time it a bit better with handies, because otherwise they just won't place something on top of it. It's the battleship I was talking about earlier with the Handy 3 fight. And that's the poison face chip I'm going to speed up just to get back to a place we need to be, just to save a little bit of time. Poison mask is just a poison face, rather, is just a stronger poison mask. I seldom use them, barring a program advance, so they probably have some uses, but I'm just not the person to use them. I didn't quite get stuck on this area as a kid, but I do remember thinking back when that it was a pretty lengthy area. It's honestly not that much longer than some of the other scenario computers. The main reason it feels longer, I think, is because of the teleportations. So there's that break from movement to movement that just kind of makes it feel like it's actively longer. I guess the virus battle potentially going on a bit longer could be also what led to that in my brain, because I just had bad folder setups as a kid. It kind of leads into, like, I think I mentioned it maybe back in there's a final power-up in the game, by the way. Any levels we don't have towards max are all HP memories at this point. Like, as a kid, I was pretty bad at a lot of things, but I was bad at organizing decks especially, and I'm still a little weak on that in card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! But Battle Network, I think, is the earliest opportunity I had as I got older of actively, like, improving how I built. Aqua Quest style level 3, charge attacks, bubble or attack up. So now our custom style is maxed out. So at this point, I probably should actually swap to the shield style to get that a little more powerful, but I'd rather have the chips around for boss fights and all that. Shield style might be better for certain random encounters and all that. It depends, really. That yellow pathway there is our ultimate goal. That's where the end of the area is, so we're on our way to that. But first, I might as well get myself a Satellite 3 battle chip, just to have it for the library. Not bad, not bad. In a way, though, this network really makes all of Mega Man Battle Network 2's improvements just feel all the better. Because Battle Network 1 has some really solid foundational stuff. But not even talking mechanics, I'm talking pacing-wise. The final area, largely being copy and pasted ideas from earlier stuff, just made it feel kind of lackluster. So this game actively having a unique final area with kick-ass music just makes this ending feel all the more appropriate for the adventure we've been on. Battle Network 2 I've heard people describe as a perfect sequel, and honestly with how much it improves on what Battle Network 1 was, it really is. That was another new virus, that was a Shadow 2 Red Devil technically. It has the Shadow 2 battle chip, it's just a stronger Shadow. Getting that battle chip I'm glad I got now, so I don't have to get that later, because similarly to the first Shadow, you can't damage Red Devils with anything that aren't sword chips. So, glad I got that. I think Shadow 2 is just, length increase, so to speak, over Shadow 1. Like, it doesn't get more damage, it just lasts longer. Saving there. If we can get through here, we can get to the top. Right. Good luck. Ah! Oh, old friends. What are you guys doing here? Must delete Megaman.exe. Delete.
Delete!
Huh. I don't think talking to them will do any good. Yeah, sounds like they're on some sort of auto program. Lan, I think I can take them. I got all their data before. Let's take them all at once then. Let's rock, Mega Man. Triple battle routine set. Execute. And just to talk for a moment, this is this game's boss rush. Similarly to boss rushes in the main classic series, but we're going to be handling this as speeding up and just playing some music. So I'll see you when this is over. Well, alright. I'll leave the rest to you. The rest. Mega Man inserted L.8 into the control program. Is this the same place as before? Doesn't look like we accessed the top floor's network. The program's working normally. Has something changed? Could be the elevator. Okay, jack out for a bit. Roger. I do find it interesting they just throw the V1s of the navis at you again instead of even going to the V2s, but I guess it's in case you didn't do the optional fights for the battle chips. Before we head to the top floor though, I want to come here to floor 9 and investigate this door. There's something on top of the doorknob. It's another HP memory. So that means we're about level 90 now, I believe, from memory, so we're doing pretty good. Now we can go to the top floor. All server power focused into server number 00. Bug fusion, standby, okay. Now, our secret weapon, the Super Navi, will be complete. At last, the world is mine. Begin the bug fusion. And thus, we finally get a look at our main villain. What was that shock just now? Lan, whatever that was, it's increasing the radiation level. Any more, it'll go over 50,000 times normal. Danger, Lan! I know, but we have to go. We have to stop Gospel. Mega Man, let's rock. Lan. I do like the let's rock, like, catchphrase for Lan. It's a nice little reference. Nobody's here. Darn. Must not be the spot. Arrgh! Lan! The radiation on the door is 50,000 times overloaded. Darn. Mega Man, you know what to do, right? We can't give up. Gotta be a server controlling this radiation. Find it. I'm on it. Jack in now. Well, thankfully, that server is in the same room. You might notice this room is ominously quiet. There's a reason for that we'll talk about once we finish this particular network. This looks like the place. We have to find and delete the radiation program, okay? Roger. Now this looks like a final area. With that said, there's no gimmicks to this. It is just a little labyrinth with some blue mystery data we want to grab along the way. Most of them are pretty good. I like this one in particular. This is an area grab asterisk, which I might actually use in my folder in post-game for certain boss fights, so keep that in mind. Despite the aesthetic changes, this area is the same enemy-wise as the later apartment computers. A lot of handies, a lot of snappers. Not a lot to worry about. This is essentially apartment computer 5 anyway. It's just that they got rid of the gimmick because we've solved it, and the aesthetic change because we're near the end. And yes, surprisingly, there's like a lot of cutscenes in this finale compared to BN1, and it really just shows the scale increase for what they were trying to do from BN1 to 2. If memory serves, they even talked about a lot of the things that they knew were off about BN1. They already knew were off by the time BN1 released, and they were already planning the solutions and fixes for BN2 by the time BN1 released in the States, for instance. At least I think that was a thing. It's really impressive looking into, like, the stories of BN development. It's kind of cool stuff got going on there. Save here because we're coming up on part 2. You found the radiation level control program. Yeah. And some other old friends. Nightman, Magnet Man, and Freeze Man? Not these guys. Mega Man, triple battle routine set. Execute. Part 2, the boss rush. Again, see you in a moment. Actually got to see a little more Freeze Man's fight there. We did it! Lan! Oh no, the radiation level's near 50k again. Don't worry, I just stood up too fast. Go get that program. Right. I did it! We should be able to get into the next room now. Right, let's go. Totter. The radiation will overwhelm your PET beyond this point. I recommend saving now or immediately after you jack out. So we are now at the point of no return. If you enter the door to the bottom right, you are locked into the endgame events, so make sure you save now. Let's get into it. Whoa, look at that. I've never seen this many servers. Welcome to the Gospel main server room. I'm impressed you've made it this far. You must be the leader of Gospel. We meet at last. Yes, Lan Hikari. The GospelNet Mafia is my pet project. How do you know who I am? With the Gospels Network, I know everything. All the information in the world on one monitor. From here, I can order crimes around the world. People all over the world are suffering because of you. So it seems, but I can't really be bothered with that. I just give orders, you see. My hands are clean. You ever talk to one of your victims? Why would I want to do that? People are just actors hiding their true selves. My monitor here is more honest than the lot of them. Yes, I've found reality to be highly overrated. That's wrong. You're wrong. Wrong or right, it matters not. I already have the Super Navi. The world is mine. What about it, Lan? Why don't you join me? Join Gospel. Together, Mega Man and my Super Navi would be unstoppable. You can take your offer and shove it! I came here to stop you, and that's what I'm gonna do. You dare to face the Super Navi? You disappoint me, Lan. You're as stupid as the rest. If only you could see the glory that is Gospel. You're the one with your head in the sand. Mega Man. Yeah, no Super Navi's gonna mess with my world and get away. Lan, jack in. You bet. Let's rock. Jack in. Mega Man, execute. Kinda surprised you just let us stand there and do that, but okay. Mind you, I guess in a world where most conflict is done through computer, I guess you would just kind of stand there and let it happen because you can show your power. Enemies here, by and large, again, same deal as the final impairment computers. Not much to worry about. Huh? Hey! Everybody! You all came after all! Roll? Guys? Yeah! Gutsman, what are you doing? Wait, Megaman, something's wrong.
Ah, you've noticed my handiwork, I see. I stole these puny nabbies from some kids that broke in. I just customized them a little to attack Megaman.exe. What's wrong? Can't get your Mega Man to delete them?
This is really low, you coward. I can't delete them, they're my friends.
Friendship, now that's stupid. Thankfully, I have no such handicap. Roll, delete Mega Man.
Yes, I will delete Megaman.exe. Roll, no, it's me, it's Megaman. Don't you recognize me? Oh no, she's not stopping. Megaman, let's rock. I mean, I don't know what to do. Lan, it's no good. Can't take any more.
Let's see that friendship now. I didn't need to use the Super Navi on you after all.
Roll! What? Who are you?
Mega, you mean you can't tell a real me from a fake?
Guys, roll? What's going on here? It looks like they made copies of us when we snuck in. I'm sorry, Mega Man. This was all our fault. Hey, more importantly than that, you all came to help me. Still, I would have hoped you could tell a fake roll. Well, I'm sorry.
Well, do it again and I might just delete you myself.
Ah, give me a break. Wait, if you're all here,
we're here too. Hi, Alan.
Mail. Sorry we're late. Dex and Yai.
Somebody had to come look after you two.
Thanks, guys. Well, what do you think of friendship now?
You like your friends, do you? Have some more then.
Ah! Ugh! Roll, everyone!
What do you think? Pretty good copies if I say so myself.
Mega Man, you up to this? I'm a little hurt, but I can't let that guy... Yeah. Oh no, Mega Man's too damaged. Must attack Mega Man. Deletion in 5 seconds. Execute. Ah, there we go. Proto Man reporting. Who's this foul imposter that would impersonate me? Proto Man! You're Chod, the official's Ace Net Battler. What's the Foreign Disruption Force doing? They're in La La Land now. Maybe break a sweat, too. Ugh. Chod, what a relief. I've no right for your thanks. I have a debt to repay. Roger that. That's fine by me. But thanks all the same. Everyone, don't let your guards down. Ah! What's this? It doesn't look good. What's wrong? Never thought you'd get this far, but you're too late. Bug fusion is complete. All that's left is to press this button, and the Super Navi will activate. Its name, Base. No, not... Ah, the officials have heard of Base, I see. Chod, what's this Base? An invincible Navi that can record chip data to use anytime. No one ever believed it could exist. My Gospel's Base project didn't just create Base. I'm now able to breed unlimited numbers of them. I'll instantly rule the net with an army of Base. Then all the military might and money will be mine. I will be king of the world. Then my Base project will have succeeded. We'll never let that happen. Mega Man. Right, an invincible Navi. Even if I can't win, I won't lose. I'm ready. You think I'm about to let you be deleted? No way. We're gonna be the ones doing the deleting. Yeah, that's right. And our friends just all leave for us to take care of this on our own. Oh well. Prepare yourself to any last folder edits you need to do, because once we reach the end of this pathway, it's final boss time. Lan. I know. We're here at last. Facing Super Navi Base. Now, Base, begin Project World Domination. You can start by deleting the Navi in front of you. Gladly. Battle is my forte. Well, here we go again. Mega Man, ready when you are. Okay, let's do it. Battle routine set. Execute. Thankfully, Base has lost his life aura between games. This fight isn't too much to worry about, but he can still do some decent damage. He's gonna go around firing his Buster right here and there, which will just kind of go all across the area, but you could of course bait him into just doing that into a Guardian a couple times. Program advances are pretty good ways to go here because he has so much HP, but really any offensive method you have at this point is gonna do pretty well here because he has little in the way of defenses. He's not exactly fast, but still be wary of getting hit by him. A strategy I used as a kid and I can recommend as well, if you just have lower battle palette chips that can still like cause him to get flinched and go into his invincibility frames, doing that whenever he's about to attack can be a good way to avoid taking damage because you can just prevent him from attacking, period. And since you don't get ranked on the final boss, taking it slow isn't a big problem. With that said, Program Advance is still a better way to go in my eyes in terms of speed versus damage, but your experience may vary on that depending on what your folder's looking like and what you prefer to play like. Program advances and doing things fast is just how I like to play things. I know some people go for chips that aren't coded as well but still do a lot of damage, like things like Guardian, but more often through the folder. It really depends on what you like to do and even what style change you got earlier in the game. I do like the battle is my forte line. Again, between the Let's Rock for Lan and Mega Man and that cute little references to the characters' Japanese names. And there we go. Man, Base, you really let yourself go after BN1. Crap, it appears the bug fusion was incomplete. The server power must not have been high enough. What? You? But you're just a kid. What happened to my cyber suit? Hey, I deleted your Super Navi or whatever that was. So why don't you just stop? Game over. You think you're so hot you can just make fun of me too? What are you talking about? I'm not making fun of you. You can't fool me. I know how it is. Well, I just didn't have enough server power. Take this. Server power 100%. Yeah! Owie, I just got prickles all over. Youch, me too! Oh no, Lan, the radiation's over 50,000 times normal. Hey, you, stop! Don't raise the server power any higher! You can't tell me what to do, no one can! I'm telling you, you're gonna hurt yourself too! Be quiet! Why can't you see? Everyone, Chad, get out, you'll die without suits on. Lan's right. No way, what about you, Lan? You're in danger too. And I'm not leaving without you, I'm fighting too. No, it's too dangerous. That's exactly why I can't leave you behind. Mail, Lan's right. We have to trust him on this one. Trust Lan. I'll be fine. I'll catch up with you guys, I promise. Really? You promise? Yeah, cross my heart. Okay. Okay, Lan. But I'm leaving my heart. I'm leaving my heart with you. I got it then. And I'll bring it right back, I promise. Stop, you guys. You're making me blush. All right, guys, let's get out of here. For your sake, I hope you know what you're doing. Ready or not, here I come. Server power 120%. More. I need more. Why do you want to rule the world so much anyway? Because I hate it all, and I'm sick of being picked on. Server power 150%. What are you... Ah! What's happening? Radiation's at 100,000 times normal. Your suit won't hold. Why you feet won't move? Server power 200%. Prepare to face the real Base. Lan, are you okay? Lan! I can still move my hands, so I can still use my PET.
I've done it! This is the real base. Base, delete him, and don't muck it up this time.
Nobody hurts my land like this and gets away with it.
Base, what's wrong with you? So that's what you really look like. Not bad, now delete them. What now? That's an order, didn't you hear me?
Lamb, Megaman, do you read me? Dad, I just found that there's a major flaw in Gospel's Super Navi development plan. You can't make a Super Navi through bug fusion. What you get is a super multi-bug organism. Dad, Lan is... Be quiet, Megaman. Dad, so you mean that really isn't base? What, the multi-bug organism's already been created? If that thing gets loose, it'll cover the net with bugs. Then it'll be bugs ruling the world, not Gospel. Lan, you and Megaman have to delete the multi-bug organism. Dad, leave it to me. Lan, what's wrong? Are you hurt? It's nothing. Dad, bye. I'm hanging up. Lan, we have to do this, Megaman, and there's no use worrying Dad. Okay, Lan. Ah! What? Whoa! Server power's increasing on its own?
Server power 400%. 600%.
I didn't do anything! If this goes on much longer, nothing human has a chance. Lan! Please hear me, please! Lan! Who's there? That voice so familiar. Lan! Lan! My brother. Is that you? You can hear me. Phew. It's me, Lan, your brother. It's hard to hear you. So dark. Where am I? You blacked out when you got stuck in the radiation wave. Oh, Wait, if I'm stuck like this, I can't operate you. I'm sorry, Hub. You have to try, Lan. If I was your brother, Hub. But I'm not. I'm Megaman.exe, and I need you, Lan. Hub, but how? What can I do? Okay, Lan, listen to me. I'm going to put my heart program into full sync with you. It won't matter if you can't use your arms or your PET. You'll be able to operate me with your heart. My heart? Is that? Can I really do that? You bet. Remember, we were once the same person. And then we were brothers. And more than that, friends. Friends. Okay, I'll give it a try. Let's get that multi-bug organism, and Gospel too! That's the spirit! Megaman, well, you read me? Loud and clear. Okay, let's rock. Battle routine set. Execute. Thus, the final battle begins. Gospel is a much notable difficulty increase over the previous battle than the life virus was in BN1. 2000 HP to start, which is a lot, yes. But you actively can't damage the Gospel virus beast when its mouth is closed. You can only damage it when its mouth is open in the middle of its attacks. Speaking of which, attack-wise, when it's open its mouth, it throws a Dino Wave at you just about. But after the first one, it starts generating basically bug frags that go from right to left on the screen along the 3 rows. And avoiding those, or at least damaging them to get rid of them, is going to be a big thing because they will blockade you from attacking the main mouth. It can also charge up its Dino Wave, which when it does that, it'll actively follow you when you move vertically, and will destroy panels as it goes, or at least crack them, which can suck. But in the later half of its health bar, it gains a number of other abilities. Namely, it can turn its head into a drill if you stay in the center row with it, and it'll just travel along. It can make its head turn into various Gospel net navies to do an attack, like it'll do Quick Man's Quick Boomerang. I think it can do Cut Man's Scissor Attack. I think it can do Airman's Tornadoes down the rows. It could be a rough fight, and you're in for a lot because there's just so much HP. Love the music though, love the background, love the design too. Nice, like, adaptation of Treble's design from the classic series to kind of sort the whole base connection out. program advances can be really good here, but you need to be very careful about which ones you use when there's potentially a bunch of trash data being thrown at you from right to left. Because, say, Gator will be blocked at least by one of those. The others will probably all still hit. You need to be very careful here. There is a very notable famous bug, though, in the Japanese version of the game that you can abuse the hell out of on this fight. And I mentioned it even when we got the Prism chip back in Netopia 1. If you threw the Prism chip onto the panel in front of the virus beast's mouth, and then threw a tree bomb at it when the mouth was open, the boss would die instantly. Due to a bug with how I think tree bomb particularly worked with that battle chip. There's similar things you can do in BN2 to begin with in the Western release, and BN3 even with certain chips. But it's nowhere near as abusable as it was. But that is such a famous exploit that they kept it intact for the Japanese dialogue choice stuff in the Legacy Collection, which I think if you're playing like the English dialogue on that, you can just swap to that no problem and like still be able to do that. It's kind of funny to see. There's videos of it all over YouTube. It's funny, and I like that they kept it in there. Like, that's a nice little shout out to just the fans liking that, because they could have easily fixed that, because they fixed numbers of others bugs throughout the BN games for the Legacy Collections. But them keeping that in, a nice little nod. Oh, here's where things get really rough. He can also start sucking you in for his breath attack. The Gospel Beast's breath is rough. High damage, and I think almost no matter what will hit you on a weakness. But as you can see, it only does it when it's basically a pinch mode. At that point, you've basically already won. Phew. Lan. Lan, can you hear me? Mega Man? You awake? I think so. Did we do it? You bet we did. Gospel's history. Look, the servers have completely stopped. Huh, you're right. Wait. Hey, are you okay? Hello? Can you hear me? He doesn't look so good. He was in the electromagnetic field the longest. Huh? What? There's something on the floor next to him. A book? I'll check it out. It was an old diary with one newspaper page stuck inside. This news article's about that plane crash 5 years ago. Right, there was a bug in the plane computer. It was all over the news as the biggest net crime ever. So what did this have to do with him? Let's read the article. They learned many things from that journal. How the boy's parents had died in that plane crash. How afterwards he had lived with his cruel relatives. How his parents' fortune had brought him little joy. How he had grown to distrust everyone but himself. And more than anything else, how lonely he was. Gee, Lan, why do I feel so sad now? Me too. These computers were the only thing that never betrayed him. Yeah. He used them to play at being an adult, making net friends. And bringing them together to form Gospel. All to get back at the real world that had forsaken him. Whoa, you're alive! I'm finished! Do what you will with me! There's no reason for me to live, not anymore! Come on! Everyone's got a reason to live. Not me. I hate this world. I want to die! No way. Of course, you will be punished for your crimes. See, everybody hates me! But... what? Once you've atoned for what you did, I promise I'll be your first friend. What? And then, finally, the world was at peace once again. Gospel was disbanded and the fear of net crime was no more. The boy was arrested and questioned about his activities, but I told Dad about what we read in the diary. So I think they went a little easy on him. A little. What about us? Well... Yo, Lan! What's the holdup? Come on! Lan, we gotta hurry. Right? Okay, I'm going already. One last Okuden Valley backtrack, I see, huh? Hey, you brought some sticks, huh? But you're late. You gotta follow my orders pronto. What's your problem? I brought these for you. Well, I guess it is because you were able to camp again. Thanks, Lan. What? It wasn't all me. I mean, everyone helped out. Lan, you're such a... Yo, not again. Jeez.
Hey, Lan, you still haven't come here. Hurry it up.
Okay, hold on a sec. Oh, that's good. You're catching all kinds of fish. I'll teach you how, Mr. Higsby. Want to try? Well, why not? Oh! Oh, Mr. Higsby. Sorry, I gotta hurry to the eye. See you later, Higsby. Oh.
Lan, where were you? Well, I'll forgive you since you brought so much. Now you can observe my fabulous cooking. I'm quite domestique. Oh no, Lan, I forgot the cutting knife again.
What? Are you serious? You're pretty tiny, so be careful cooking that fish.
Hey, I'm not a kid. Oh, you... What is it, Lan? Oh, a cutting knife? All right. But it's been such a while since Dad came along camping.
I've been so busy. Sorry, Mom.
Oh, that's all right. Besides, if anyone understands how hard your work is.
Thank you, dear. Dad! Sorry, Lan. Thank you, too. Since I'm free, let's play. All right.
Lan, you coming? My, you better get going. Don't keep a girl waiting. Now, he's not going there to get back at you.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh, sugar.
Oh, honey.
Oh, Lord. I'm turning all red. Let's go. You're late.
Oh, Lan, I already got a knife from Chad. Thank you, Chad.
Sure. Anything for you. What? Mail? What do you mean by that?
You were late. Chad, on the other hand, is very kind. But your knife's also important. Which one do you use?
What are you... Whatever. Women. Can't live with them, can't live without them, right? How the heck would I know?
Lan, Chad, you're both in my way. Chop, chop.
Chad? What? I hate myself for saying this, but you really helped me out this time. Thanks. Huh. I want to say you aren't worth my attention, but you're forcing me to recognize you as a rival in many ways. I don't know about that, but your rival? Right. I won't lose to you, neither will Mega Man. Right, I won't lose to Proto Man either. I just follow Chad's orders. Anyway, get going. I've no time to chat with outsiders. Right, whatever, but before that.
Friends.
See ya. Huh? Why are you all alone, Dad? Don't tell me. Work again? Well, it's about him. What is it? Well, it seems as though someone's been working backstage. What do you mean? Well, it seems someone might have been manipulating him. Every time he accessed the net, someone was working his unconscious. He believed he created Gospel and the base project, but there's a high chance it was at another's instigation. I see. Peace is returned, but Dad's work is far from over. Oh, well, if something happens again, we'll be ready. Right. But knowing it wasn't all his fault kinda helps. Yeah, that's true.
Food's almost ready. Dad? Lan, where'd you go?
Oh, better not keep them waiting. They'll get mad. Yeah, let's go. Cheers! Let's eat. This is great. We can camp to our heart's content, right? Lan! Sorry! I'm late. I was preparing for the start of the new semester tomorrow. Is everyone all finished with their homework? Oh no! Oh no! Mega Man, our homework. Yeah, so much has been happening, I also totally... Lan, don't tell me. Ah! Oh no, there's fire coming from the stove! Oh no! Wait a minute, of course fire's coming from the stove. See, Lan, you haven't done your homework. Sorry, but I don't have time now. Mega Man? Okay, Lan. Let's go. Jack in. Mega Man, execute. And that's the main campaign all polished up. The glow up from Battle Network 1's campaign to Battle Network 2 and beyond is just nuts on a level that I seldom see a sequel directly refine all the problems out of. Because usually it takes maybe till the third game for all the things from the first game to be polished up. It's so immediate here that it's crazy. I'm glad I started with BN2 as a kid, because if I had started with BN1, I probably would still like the series, but I wouldn't be nearly as attached to it as I am nowadays. The only real sour point in the campaign, I think, is the Freeze Man scenario, just because of how much back and forth that is, on top of how much the game that actively makes up. I would rather they just made a shorter scenario if they were worried about game length or something like that, because it just would have made this easily like top 3 no matter what, probably universally throughout the series. If I had to rank where this campaign goes, at least for me in the series, I'd say it's upper middle. I think my two favorites in the series between BN 5 and 6 are stronger campaigns in the whole, but I think this is the most approachable to a lot of people trying to get into the series. I would really recommend starting here mechanically. That is, of course, barring potentially playing Operate Star Force / Operate Shooting Star, because they add a lot of BN2 stuff into BN1 in that, but even then, like, the game structure doesn't change too much. But we're not even close to done in this game. We are just over the halfway point in the battle chips, and I have only a few program advances done. We got a whole lot to do here still. And Battle Network 2's post-game is much more extensive and structured than Battle Network 1 could ever hope to have it be. I do have to say, though, like I said earlier, easily one of my favorite soundtracks in the series. The techno beats here are just such chill vibes for me, to the point where this has easily formed some of my modern music taste like nothing else has. It's great. Without this game, the series would not have become what it did. If it didn't stop here, period. I really, really recommend BN2. If you want to play it, thankfully, there's the Game Boy Advance release. There was the Wii U Virtual Console release, but good luck getting that nowadays because the Wii U Virtual Console is completely shut down. But then there's the Legacy Collection, which is a really good way to play this, and I would have swapped to it if I wasn't already a good third of the way through the game to begin with. Ooh, but now we have an epilogue. Oh, great. Insolence, face my judgment. Still another buffoon over here. That rotting weakling, human. Manipulating brats as if I really cared. But breeding copies of me, that I cannot permit. Humans, worthless creatures. One day they shall face my judgment. And consider that a tease of things to come for both Battle Network 3 and the post-game. 15 hours, pretty good length. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching. I know this is a pretty beefy episode, but next time when we meet up for Battle Network, we start off the post-game. I know I've been saying at the end of every single one of these videos because these are delayed sub specials, but thank y'all so much for 360 subs, and just recently, again, thank you so much for 500. The fact we're halfway to 1,000 is crazy. The next time we see Battle Network will hopefully be soon. when we come back for the post game. I do think I'm just going to move on to the next LP, which will take about a month and a half, 2 months to finish. And then I'll be recording some of these in the background during that. If you don't watch the post game, I want to thank y'all for stopping by for the main LP. And if you do, well, you have a lot to look forward to. Either way, have a great night, take care, and I'll see you guys next time whenever I see you. See you guys then.